You are watching KAVU 25 News Now weekends at 5:30.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amaya Norman. Heavy rains in Victoria create some risk for local flooding. We have 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting out on the site of a major road closure due to the flooding. We'll go to him now.
Thanks, Amaya. I'm here on Navarro Street at the underpass where we've already seen some significant flooding in this area, and already a vehicle has gotten stuck here trying to drive through the waters. The intersections at Navarro and East North Street as well as Goodwin Avenue are closed for the foreseeable future. They predict that this underpass may be closed even until tomorrow morning. This isn't the only place we've seen significant flooding here in Victoria. The Office of Emergency Management says that they have a flood advisory in effect until 5:30 this afternoon, but could be extended if any more additional rainfall hits the ground. Right now, about 1 to 3 inches have already fallen, and they expect 1 to 2 inches more before the night's over. Some of the areas they're saying will expect flooding are the Victoria Regional Airport, the Brentwood Subdivision, Inez, the Victoria Mall, and Detar Hospital. And speaking with police here on the scene, we've already heard reports of a wreck on the feeder of John Stockbauer Road. So any drivers, if you have to hit the roads today, please be careful and follow advice. Turn around, do not drown if you see flooding on your commute. Otherwise, please stay home as the rainfall continues to fall into the afternoon. Reporting, Trenton Whiting, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Okay, now let's go to Trey Mining with the first look at our forecast. Trey, as you can see, it was raining out there heavy. It was like raining like cats and dogs. And then, of course, that underpass was flooded. Can you give us any information? Will there be any more rain going on today, this afternoon?
Exactly. The normal low places that flood, like the underpasses in Victoria, some of the local streets and around the county as well, had some water on them. Beginning to subside now as the rain is beginning to lessen in intensity and head toward the south, being pushed from the north by a high pressure system. So it's slowly sinking to the south, but still raining in around the Victoria region. Will be for the next few hours down the road, so keep that in mind. I think all the heavy rain is pretty much out of the picture for the time being, except for maybe right along the immediate coast. Take a look a little bit closer in, pretty much light to moderate rainfall, especially now just south of 59 toward Port Lavaca in the western parts of the Crossroads area and the areas of near Inez over to about Raisin or so. Look at some of the rainfall totals we've had, 3 to 5 inches in the belt here from about Goliad to Victoria to Inez, south of Edna, and more toward Bay City. More rain to come tomorrow. Could be the case. We'll give you the details later on in the full forecast. Amaya?
Thank you, Trey. One person is dead and several others were injured when a man opened fire at a Liberty County bar early Sunday. According to officials, deputies with Liberty County Sheriff Office say a shooting at Alas Locust near Cleveland happened just before 2:30 a.m. Early reported indicated the suspect, who was not a regular at the bar, arrived around midnight, left briefly, then returned and opened fire. 6 people were shot, including one man who died at the scene. 2 victims were airlifted to hospitals and are in critical condition. Officials say the suspect acted alone and fled in a white van with a long scratch on the side. Authorities are reviewing surveillance footage for more details. An investigation is underway to determine why a helicopter crashed Saturday in Minnesota. This happened near a Air Lake Airport in Lakeville, in a south central part of the state. Authorities say no one survived the crash, and they are trying to determine how many people were on board. And it's unclear where the helicopter took off from or where it was heading. The National Transportation Safety Board would try to figure out what happened. Hundreds hit the street yesterday in Chicago, protesting President Trump's immigration crackdown. Windows boarded, fences are up, and the city braced for federal troops. Here's ABC's Johnny Fernandez has more.
Friends are welcome here.
Yesterday, hundreds gathered in downtown Chicago, protesting against President Trump's expected immigration crackdown as he prepares to deploy federal troops to the city. All day Saturday, protesters taking to the streets, chanting "No to Trump, no to his occupation of our city."
Whether there is a visible federally militarized deployment in our streets or not, our communities are still experiencing state-sanctioned trauma as a result of this orchestrated fear campaign.
Earlier, protesters gathered outside the Great Lakes Naval Base, where federal agents will operate for the next 30 days. ABC's Alex Stone was there and spoke with some of the protesters.
We're not all bad people. Everybody's not a bad person. It's heartbreaking. We're literally separating families.
The city now preparing for the possible arrival of federal troops. Chicago stepping up security. Windows boarded at this ICE processing center. Anti-scale fencing surrounding a federal building in downtown. The president posting on social media a manipulated image with the quote, "Chicago is about to find out why it's called the Department of War," a reference to the executive order he signed renaming the Department of Defense.
We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker pushing back, saying, quote, "The president of the United States is threatening to go to war with an American city. This is not a joke. This is not normal." White House officials stressing the Chicago immigration crackdown is separate from the president's idea of using federal law enforcement and National Guard troops to fight crime in the city, similar to what happened in Washington, D.C. Johnny Fernandez, ABC News, New York.
Now it's time to check your lottery ticket because winning tickets for the $1.8 billion Powerball jackpot were sold in Missouri and Texas. The winning numbers were 11, 23, 44, 61, and 62 with a red Powerball of 17 and a Power Play multiplayer of 2. Additionally, 2 lucky tickets sold in Kansas and Texas won a $2 million prize, and 18 tickets sold across 13 states won $1 million. Saturday wins ends a streak of 42 consecutive drawings without a jackpot winner. The jackpot will now reset at $20 million for Monday drawing. And a new state law requires schools to obtain parental consent before administering health care services to students has triggered confusion among campus nurses who worry they could face punishment. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website at crossroadstoday.com. And that will lead us to your viewer poll this afternoon. Should Texas school needs parental consent to give students routine health care? Is yes, parents should decide. No, schools should handle it, and only for major medical care. And so far at 76% is yes, parents should decide, with 8% no. Schools should handle it, and 16% is only for major medical care. We would still love to hear from you. Just go over to our website at crossroadstoday.com/vote, and we will have the latest here on 25 News Now at 10. The Victoria County Commissioner Court will meet Monday, September 8th at 10 a.m. in room 241 at 115 North Bridge Street. On the agenda, commissioners will review the terminal replacement project at the Victoria Regional Airport and discuss a ramp grant agreement connected to the airport. They also will consider proposed changes to traffic regulation in Precinct 3, along with several other items. And for more today's news story, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Estrain and Parker Cox will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a local military hero so we can recognize them. Now to the nation's job market slowdown and how Trump administration is responding to the weak employment report. Coming up.
Let's take another look at these radar estimated rainfall totals from this afternoon. A big build here near nearly 4 inches near Goliad, and north side of Victoria a little over 3 inches. Same thing near the airport here in Victoria County. Near 4 to 5 inches there south of Edna near Vanderbilt area, and further to the east going toward Bay City, pretty good totals as well. Still raining around the area, so we're not quite over yet. Will the rain be back tomorrow? Find out in my full forecast.
Now to the job market slowdown and the Trump administration response to the latest weak employment report. ABC's News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang is in Washington with more.
Overnight, President Trump downplaying the dismal new jobs report.
We're going to have tremendous job growth.
That's despite employers adding just 22,000 jobs in August, less than a third of what economists expected. Unemployment rising to 4.3%, the highest in nearly 4 years. And revised numbers for June showing employment actually fell by 13,000 jobs, the first loss in almost 5 years.
What we've seen is an unprecedented surge in uncertainty with regard to trade policy. It creates people to hesitate on making big spending decisions. It also creates firms to hesitate on hiring and making big investments.
Still, Trump insists his trade policy will spark a renaissance in American manufacturing.
Wait till these factories start to open up that are being built all over the country.
But the data shows 78,000 losses in manufacturing since the start of the year as tariffs drive up the cost of supplies.
This is a no fire, no hire job market. If you're thinking about your own job security, if you're thinking about looking for work, this is a situation that doesn't give you any added confidence.
31-year-old Kyle Clark, who's worked for years as a technical editor, hasn't been able to find a job since April.
I applied for 44 jobs and I've had 7 responses. It's a roller coaster.
President Trump says his team is ready to add more sanction on Russia. On Sunday, a reporter asked if he was ready. He said yes. Last week, Ukraine's President Zelensky asked for more pressure on Russia and countries that trade with them. Trump is frustrated that peace talks are moving slowly and is thinking about how much he should help with meetings between Russia and Ukraine. And Russia launched its largest air attack so far in the war with Ukraine, continuing increased targeting for the capital city, Kyiv. Ukrainian officials calling on international community to put more pressure on Vladimir Putin to stop this war. ABC's Alex Presha has the latest.
Rising from the skyline in Kyiv after the largest Russian air attack since the war began. Sirens sounded across the country and residents fleeing for bomb shelters. Flames coming out of the cabinet building in Kyiv, marking what authorities said was the first strike on the main government office since the war began. Ukraine's Air Force claims that Russia launched 810 drones and 13 missiles into the country in the latest barrage, of which 747 drones and 4 missiles were shot down. Authorities adding at least 8 people are dead, 60 are wounded. Less than a month ago, President Trump hosted Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska for talks aimed at ending the war. But since then, Putin has escalated his attacks on Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke with ABC News chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz before this morning's strike about not being asked to attend that meeting.
It's a pity that Ukraine was not there because I think that President Trump gave Putin what he wanted.
And he called Putin's invitation for him to come to Moscow a delay tactic.
I can't go to Moscow when my country is under missiles, under attacks each day. I can't go to this capital of these terrorists. It's understandable, and he understands it.
Zelensky writing on social media that strikes like today's are a deliberate attempt by Russia to prolong the war. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Many people will get to see a special sky show this weekend, but it depends on where you live. On Sunday, there will be a total lunar eclipse, also called a blood moon. This happened when the Earth comes between the moon and the sun. The full eclipse will last about 1 hour and 22 minutes, but it will only be visible in Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. People in North America will have to wait until March next year to see a total lunar eclipse. Now, experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus.
Still some light to moderate rain around the crossroads. A review of the thunderstorms that we moved through earlier. Beginning to wind down now, the rain beginning to lessen as we head toward the south. A bit dry air moving in, but rain chance to be around tomorrow. Could be the case. We'll give you the details coming up next in your forecast. Good evening, and what a day it's been. A rather wet day around the crossroads, no doubt about it. Anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5 inches of rainfall around the region, especially from about Victoria toward into Inez and points to the east, and a little bit along the coast as well. Here's a review. A thunderstorm popped through this afternoon about 12 noon to about 4 or 5 o'clock, and then beginning to lessen now. So some light rain across the region currently. There we see right there. But it's beginning to move on out, and I think we'll have a pretty quiet night overnight tonight, with the dry air beginning to move on through. Because of the rain and cloud cover, the temperatures, of course, were a lot cooler than they would have been without the rainfall. Temperatures currently in the 80s to near 90 degrees with a little bit of an easterly wind. Be in the 70s in the overnight tonight. Wake up time tomorrow will be, of course, more than likely above 90 degrees with less rainfall chances and a little bit more sunshine in the forecast area here. So it's going to be a hot day. It's probably mid-90s or so for the daytime high. What's causing the rainfall? Well, a couple of things. Moisture from a tropical system that moved over Mexico into our region here, and off the Gulf, of course, tropical moisture. A weak stationary front over the region, creating lift in our atmosphere here. Why it was had the thunderstorm over the region in the central part of the crossroads, because the front is lying across that region. High pressure in the north, keeping it from moving to the north any more than it is right now. Matter of fact, it will be pushing it further to the south, as it's continued to do so as we work through the evening time for your day tomorrow as well. So to see the rain chance begin to lessen somewhat as high pressure builds in behind the front and gives us more of a sunny conditions and hotter conditions as well. Future tracker, rain beginning to subside, sees more moving to the south, out into the Gulf of Mexico by about midnight or so. Could have a few rain showers along the immediate coast coming up for your day tomorrow. But I think any rain chances tomorrow will be likely south of 59 toward Calhoun County, Port Lavaca, the best chance of rain there. Mostly dry to the north about Victoria or so toward Hallettsville. So definitely a lot drier overall and hotter temperatures again gradually as we work with time. Sunny skies for your day tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies right on through your day on your Victoria. Highs in the 90s or so for the daytime high. Port Lavaca. Now you may see a rain shower or storm along the immediate coast tomorrow where the rain chances will likely be. A little bit more moisture and instability around those regions. And temperatures in the Cuero. Mostly sunny skies it's anticipated. Highs well into the 90s or so. Northeasterly winds a little bit on the dry side. I'll keep a 30% chance in for your day tomorrow. No heavy rain expected, but the 30% is probably along the immediate coast, lost south about 59 or so. Sunny skies the rest of the time period. Maybe a passing rain shower toward the end of the week into the weekend with highs in the 90s and mid-90s or so. Lows in the 70s, maybe a few 60s coming up for your Monday into Tuesday morning, feeling a little bit cooler overall. Otherwise, heavy rains out of the forecast period for the time being. Maybe a few rain showers for your day tomorrow. Otherwise, a lot drier week coming up. Take a look at this right here. This is the QR code. Get your smartphone, scan the code you see right there to take you to a web page. You can download our app. Do weather and sports at your fingertips. Easy, convenient, free of charge to have on your phone. And speaking of sports, here's the man with the plan, Ray Robinson.
Thank you, Trey. We're hearing from Victoria West QB Nolan Boyce on what's next for the Warriors. See what he has to say and more coming up in sports. Preparing for week 3 in Crossroads, we have a handful of teams that are still undefeated, including the West Warriors. After their impressive Friday night victory, I also had the opportunity to catch up with Nolan Boyce to discuss the game and what lies ahead for the team.
Everybody worked through all the hard moments in the game and all the good moments in the game. We took in everything and we came out and won. Definitely looking forward to Jarrett coming back soon. We had to move our receiver room around a little bit and kind of mess with some things, but we made it work. With Jarrett coming back, I think he's going to be the missing piece in the puzzle that's just going to keep not missing. We did great today, but he's going to be a better piece in the puzzle that elevates our offense even better.
Great words from from Nolan Boyce, should I say. Let's see how much more the Warriors can get better in week 3. The Warriors have 2 more non-district games, and their week 3 matchup will see them back at Memorial Stadium battling Sam Houston. And your Sunday Sports Viewer poll is after an impressive week 2 of plays with hurdles being jumped from both Dedrick Callis and Brody Metting Crossroads. Which highlight are you most impressed with? And there was also Walker Deet's impressive catch. So just let us know. We got till the 10 p.m. But as of now, it looked like Dedrick's hurdle is taking the lead right now. But get all your votes in. Also, vote in the comments section. I'll mention it on air if you have a good case as to why which of these highlights is more impressive. And let's shine a spotlight on some of the future stars you could be seeing compete for the boot in years ahead. Yesterday, the Victoria Titans Little League football team faced off against Carnage City Little League squad. And on your screen right now are the junior divisions of both teams. The Titans dominated from start to finish, securing a commanding 39-6 victory. Here's a word from head coach Avery and QB Austin Avery.
I'm very, very proud of the kids. A lot of them I've been coaching since they were 6 years old, and a lot of them they're 10 now, and some are 9. And we set the expectations in June when we started practicing and doing strength and conditioning, just getting it ready, and we just want to come out and dominate every day.
My love for the game of football, I love it a lot because I've been playing since I was 6 years old, and I played really good today. I had a passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, and a fumble recovery touchdown. Oh yeah, we lost to them last year in double overtime by 1 point, and this year we beat them 39-7 or to 6.
Okay, what was the? All right, and the newly named A&M Victoria men's soccer team had secured their first win of the season. They faced off against McMurray University in a tough, hard-fought match, ultimately prevailing 1-0. The Jags will return to the cage this Thursday to take on Texas Wesleyan, followed by a matchup against Dallas Christian on Saturday. And the Houston Texans are battling Cuero's own Jordan Whittington in the Los Angeles Rams right now. So far, Stroud has thrown for a touchdown and 110-plus yards. Here's the current score as the Rams are up. Score 14-9. Now make sure you tune in at 10 for video highlights and a final score, and hopefully the Texans can bounce back and win. And also we want to wish good luck to Cuero's own Jordan Whittington. He did have a carry as of this recording. But that does it for your sports. Amaya?
Thank you, Ray. Raise your glass or maybe not. It's National Beer Lovers Day. How to celebrate your favorite beverage up next. phone and scan this QR code. This is our quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can watch us anytime, anywhere, get breaking news alerts, and vote in our viewer polls. Submit news tips and photos, and you will know all about our ongoing contests. And raise your glass. Sunday is National Beer Lovers Day. It happens every year on September 7th. The day is for people to enjoy local brewers, bars, and just relax at home with a six-pack. The most popular beer is America or our Modelo is special, and then the, what is it called, the Michelob Ultra, you know, and Bud Light. And more people are trying non-alcoholic beers. Big beer companies are making more of these drinks because lots of younger people are choosing them for health reasons. That's good. I mean, I'm glad they're choosing their health over beer.
For health reasons?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Are
a
you
good
sure
break,
about that?
You know, get all that.
I mean, I don't know if it's healthier, but
okay.
I mean, I don't know. There's a big beer guy over here. But no, like, how is the weather could be? Look, I know they might not be raising their glass with the beers because of the weather, but
Exactly. I guess the rain we had today kind of sobered everybody up.
you probably did.
Made us wet, though, that's for sure. A 30% chance again for your day tomorrow. I'm thinking along the coastal zones be the best chances for that. With temperatures getting warmer, you see in the mid-90s, not escaping that as of yet. Maybe some rain shower chances toward the end of the week again, small chances of that. Lows 60s to the low and mid-70s.
Wow. Make sure you guys stay safe and don't drown, turn around, and be in your house. But thank you for joining us. We hope you be with us tonight. 35 News Now, weekends at 10. Thank you.